Hello and welcome to our channel. First things first, my name's Martin, not Walter. Walter's the van. We've been travelling 3.5 years full time in the van, and every now and then the fridge doesn't ignite. So every sort of 6 months or so. So what I've learned how to do is take off the burner and give it a bit of a service, and it normally fixes the problem. And this video, I'm going to show you what I do. I hope you find it useful. Just parked up a little apart from night, trying the fridge, and the fridge will not stay on, which is not good. The fridge is not staying on gas. Just turn this little screw one way and then the vent pops off. First things first is to get rid of this heating pipe here, and you've got to remove this plastic cup. It just pops off, but that's the overflow. That's the overflow for any water that comes down through, and it just sits in that tray and evaporates off. So to get into this, you've got to just clip this off. The little screw in there that holds this heating hose, so you've got to undo that screw in there. It's quite fiddly. You've got to get a small screwdriver in there, and that helps you just get out of the way. Just pulls it back to give you a bit of help. This little screw here takes off this protective end. I'll take that off. And here's this little screw at the back. Down the back there, that's got to come off as well. This comes off. When you take this guard off here that was here, and that guard's gone, this then it comes away to reveal the burner, like so. That's the burner. That's the igniter. There's the burner inside there. And I've got to remove this, and it's that little screw there. It gets undone. You undo that screw, and that will drop down. Actually, before I undo that screw there, I'm going to undo this one here, which will bring the gas. That's the gas supply in. So if I undo that, I'll be able to move that. If I undo that nut there, that'll come away. It's important to grip the actual burner there before you start trying to turn that nut on there. So you grip it with a pair of grips, and then you turn. And that comes out there like that. Now I can undo that one there. When you take that little screw out that was in there, then the burner and all that drops away. Now I need to undo that, and that will release the igniter. And then inside there, if you can see, it's a bit that I'm going to try and clean out. You can see that. I think this is like the thermocouple that needs to be cleaned to make sure heat transfer goes back to tell the sensor that is on is hot and stop igniting. And that's the actual igniter, which is no problem with that, because I could hear it sparking. So I think this might be the problem. And that's the actual burner with the jet hole there. I kind of just cleaned it out and just blew down the hole there. You can actually force air out if you give it enough pressure with your mouth, and that normally does it. Oh, the tricky part is getting that back on, getting the right distances for the thermocoupler and the igniter. And you offer that back up into there, line up that hole. Oh, I've cleaned it all and repositioned it and blew down through the jet. So I'm putting it all back together, and I don't over tighten that nut there yet, because I just need a little bit of play in that, offering up the gas supply, which is there, which is this one, because that's got to go in there. Done by hand tight. Now I'm going to tighten that screw, and then I can tighten that real tight. When retightening the gas supply, again, I use grippers around the burner to grip it, and then put a spanner on the gas inlet to tighten it real tight. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's working now. Nice blue flame. Yeah, please, just switch it off. On the guard, there's this little slit here. I don't know if you can see down there. There's a little arm, and that slit in there has got to go in and round there. Goes in that way, and then that slit, you've got to try and get that in there, the back first. It's a bit fiddly. You can actually take a peek down the back and see how you refix that in. And of course it's a bit wobbly. It's a bit wobbly because we've got to put this plate back on as well. But it's down there where those two Phillips screws are. And we'll fix that back in. Oh yeah, this one goes on. This one goes back in there. Goes along there. Fixes in there. Just make sure you've got those nice and tight. And that one in there. I think it's really important to point out that I am not a gas engineer. And you really should be thinking about getting somebody who's gas qualified to do any of this. So this is just my own personal DIY job. So I take it all out carefully, and I put it back. But really speaking, you should be getting a gas safe engineer to be looking at that, really. But it's all connected. It's all back to as it was, and it ignites. So job's a good one.